Today I want to talk about status effects in Marvel's Avengers. There are 6 unique status effects that you can get: Pym Particles, Plasma, Cosmic, Shock, Cryo, and Gamma. Now when you apply these status effects to enemies, each of them has 2 different unique effects to each different status effect. In terms of Pym Particles, you end up shrinking your enemy, which makes them deal less damage to you, and they take more damage from you. It also allows certain stronger enemies like Adaptoids to be picked up by Miss Marvel, or even pinned with a hammer from Thor when they're shrunk. Looking at the Plasma effect, this does damage over time and also gives them a stagger so they're not able to fully always attack you. Which means if you keep hitting them, they're unable to actually attack back, so you can kind of just bully them until they die. Looking at the Cosmic status effect, this is the only one that actually lets you heal as you're beating your enemies up, which is great because they also take a lot more damage from you when they're actually ionized with cosmic energy. The full status effect is Shock, which gives you an increased crit chance, so you can have a higher chance to do critical hit damage on your enemy. Not only do you get that chance, you also are able to do more damage to an enemy who has been applied with the Shock status, so this is a really good one. Having a look at the Cryo status effect, this is one that slows all the actions that an enemy does, and it also disallows them to use like defensive abilities like holding up a shield or kind of just defending themselves, so they kind of just don't have any defenses and you can just smack them and they're just attacking really slowly, so it kind of just works out for you. I kind of see this one hand in hand with Plasma, except with less damage and more control. And the final status effect is Gamma, which does damage over time as you have the effect applied, and also as the enemy dies, they explode on death, which applies poison damage to any enemies nearby. The real question here is, which of these status effects should you be looking for the most? In my opinion, these are split up into 2 groups. I believe Plasma, Cosmic, and Cryo are all in a control sense of status effect, where Plasma lets you stagger enemies and deal damage over time, Cosmic lets you heal and let the enemies take more damage, and Cryo is just full on control by only just slowing down the enemy and disabling a lot of their defensive abilities. So if you're really struggling with fights or you're going for more of a support build hero, then those kind of effects would be for you. But if not, things like Pym Particles, Shock, and Gamma should definitely be in your kind of criteria. I believe Shock is the best one on here for the simple fact that it gives you an increased crit chance, which means you can be doing a lot more damage more frequently, especially if you're hitting hard and you're hitting often. And it even comes with an enemy taking more damage. There's also a underlining feature where you combine a warm and a cool status effect, which also increases in more increased damage. So Shock with Cryo, for example, can do a lot more damage paired together. So that's also a viable build. I, however, kind of like the idea of using Pym Particles and Shock, or maybe even Shock and Gamma. I definitely think Shock is one of the better ones because of just that crit chance and dealing more damage, whereas Gamma is like damage over time. Most of your enemies you're killing really quickly, so I feel like damage over time is great for a boss fight, but it's not great for when your enemies are dying too quickly that you're not able to actually let them, take that damage over time. Rather have them take that damage right now. And that's my take on the best status effects in the game. You can obviously pick whichever one you want. Those are my opinions and my kind of like suggestions of what could work together like really well. Let me know in the comments below if you're using a certain combo of different status effects and how that works for you. I'm interested to hear from you. And I'll see you guys in a future video. Thank you for watching.